Alright, guys, welcome back to EPs and LPs. This is another episode with Cokes and Obi, and today we have with us. Introduce yourself, young man.
Yeah, my name is Deromagic, aka the Swag Boy, aka Magician, aka Dero.
Okay.
Yeah,
active,
all
man.
that.
Right. Good to have you here, bro. Hope you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay. Before let's get right into it. Would you like to help us?
Okay. So I think our first question for you would be what your early life was like. How would you describe that? What was your early life like?
Okay. Alright, so basically, I started music, or I found the love for music when I was 11 years old. I was in GS2 in my high school called International School of Lagos.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were ISL.
Okay. I was in ISL. Don't hold it against me, Sha. Please. I'll watch the movie.
Why did you bring up this guy?
Just by the way, we both went to ISL.
Yeah, that's what I'm right.
So I'm gonna reserve my comments.
Well, yeah, basically 11 years old, and then I was in the classroom, the friend's classroom, and then someone just started beating on the table, and then it was just like, and then my friend Damola started freestyling, and then from there I jumped on it. Then the whole class was like, hey, you know, exactly. So from that moment, I was like, yo, that was amazing. I was like, oh, let's go to another class. I did the same. They went to another class, and I just like tried to recreate the vibe and just give a little vibe. And then from then on, just understood that we could go into it like so-called as just to record music, and doesn't have to be a thing of just like freestyling. Is that you can actually go to studio and work, and started as a group of like 5 guys, and then went in, performed at the school events, so and so. But through all those years, I was building up my charisma and just like confidence of being on stage and performing for people, and also public speaking.
Well, that's good actually. Like, now that I think about it, as in your first chance, you guys were already touring just to pass. Oh man, they say
your first tour was classroom tour.
That's good. So like basically that's the inspiration. So before that, were you really feeling any form of inspiration from music, or that was like the spot, that was the beginning of it all for you? Like, was there maybe any artist that made you feel like, okay, maybe I could actually do music? Considering like, you know, how they flow, you could tap into their flow, or how they basically the lyrics, the content in the music.
Okay, from early on, so my dad was into music as well. So in the house, he just like we were chilling, he's like in the shower, and then he has a speaker playing on early P Square, early Two Face and all that. But I myself, I gravitated towards rap music, hip hop, and it's Lil Wayne that was the first artist that made me feel that like, hearing him rap and hearing, you know when you hear someone spit some bars, you know, like Amelie for example, and then he goes, and you're trying to go as him, and then you're trying to go with all this. So from there, I started just saying that, oh, you can just work on yourself and be able to be the fastest rapper you want, be the most lyrical, it's up to you.
It's up to you.
But anything is possible.
No, that's really good. So in terms of playing instrument, creating music, after you found your love for music, you found the artist that you would like to, that inspired you. Did you follow in terms of other ways, in terms of music creation? Do you play any instruments at all, or what else do you do in terms of creating music?
Okay. Basically, I started off with learning piano, just learning the basic music theory. I'll say that, I was more into. It's crazy when you have all the thoughts and ideas in your mind and find a way to bring it out, but you have to use instruments. So I started off with like learning basic music theory. Then I went into like actual production, mixing, mastering, audio engineering, and everything. So now I can sit down and have a session of artists come, and I'll produce the session.
Oh wow,
everybody's voices sounding nice, all that.
Nice.
So I'm perfecting my beat making on that side production.
Okay.
So you want to start singing?
I mean, I wanna.
You want to try on the microphone?
I'll do a little something.
Then we'll go and spit some bars.
Oh my god.
Next you was have it all. I will start.
Whoa, that's good actually. That's actually really good. So, like, do you produce all your songs, or do you have like a production team?
Well, for a lot of my music, I try to collaborate with different producers and everything. So, but the only issue with that is that collaboration costs money.
Right.
They ain't gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you. It costs money.
Okay,
This producer will call 80K, this one will call 100K, this one will call, so by the time you have it, it's like 1 million that I spent on probably just unreleased songs. So they want to go out with one record, you have to pay for playlisting, distribution, this, that. We're talking about like another They want to do content and pay TikTokers, getting another 500 to and this is for like a solid push of solid
So
push.
let me give you some insight on
Yeah,
what-
some
Right,
insight.
yeah, some figures
Don't go
as
and drop
well.
music and shake your
I think
family
that's
members.
it. Right.
They will play it once and that's the end. Go and find real fans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Push your music out there to like promote it properly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and I also wanted to know, like, do you all your songs that you put out there, even the ones that are yet to be released, did you write all your songs, or do you have like some songwriters that work with you as well? Like maybe some ghostwriters, maybe.
I wish. I really wish, because some days it's like harder to find the lyrics to put, or your
Right,
mind is just
yeah.
like on other things and all
Yeah.
that. But I'll say I've written all my songs that I've
Okay.
recorded, and I've recorded about, let's say, not less than 100 and something songs.
Oh, wow.
That's just from that I know that's on my computer right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's only one song that was written for me by my friend from Zimbabwe. That's Gonzo. Shout out to you, Gonzo.
Shout out to Gonzo.
Yeah.
So that's one. People haven't heard of me yet. Still.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's-
Yeah, but that's good. So wow, like that's one thing I've noticed about artists, like their discography that's all out there
Yeah.
is like maybe just a tiny fraction
It's
of
like
how
an
much they have in their
iceberg,
mind.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So the
so-
main thing is underneath,
Right,
just
right.
tip of it.
The iceberg.
Okay. No, that's really good. So in terms of artists, I mean, you just said that you do work with other songwriters, producers, even though it costs money. In terms of collaboration with artists like yourself, who are are, or even artists that are different from you,
Yeah.
what would you say is like your dream collab that you
We're a
have?
dream collab.
Yeah.
Gotta take my glasses off for this.
Okay.
A dream
That's a good
collab
one.
is actually with someone that is already passed. You'll have been with Juice WRLD. And I told myself before he died that I'll like if I get in the studio with this guy.
That would do it for you.
So-
Yeah. I'll tell him don't be
No,
done.
that's fine.
This guy don't go anywhere pretty much record. I swear. Yeah, because his tattoos that he got on his hand live life. I got the exact thing on my hand
Oh,
here.
interesting.
But yeah, it really inspired me.
Okay.
I'm just seeing someone that is basically a genius like,
Yeah.
in music and everything. Can go for hours freestyling and can just like and that's just out of him being himself.
Okay. Oh, that's pretty
Okay.
good.
So would you say like he's your favorite artist, or do you have
He's my favorite artist, no cap, no kidding.
just
Oh,
him,
yeah.
or do you have like a list?
Okay,
Like,
Juice WRLD, Kendrick Lamar, and Kanye West. That's what your stuff.
oh wow.
Oh, would you still put Kanye West on that list as of today?
He already did.
Well,
As of today?
at some,
Or have you restructured? Or is it still there?
let me bring up this argument whereby sometimes in music they say that can you differentiate the artist from
That.
from the
Yeah.
arts, the real persona of the person and their character, can you really put that aside?
Separated.
And people were all like, yeah, we can. Then R. Kelly thing happened,
Right. Yes.
and everybody was like, it seems weird to be playing his music now and then.
Giving what's
Yeah,
going on.
true.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
That's correct.
Because knowing that in playing his music, you're adding to his pocket.
Of course.
Streaming is always going back to.
Of course.
So for the
Right,
Kanye
yes,
thing,
yeah.
I'll say that yeah, it's still on my top list and all that. But if it still goes further and everything, at some point I have to like kind of say,
Okay.
of course, because
Wow.
I what I stand for. You don't stand for those things.
Yeah.
I can only like you for
No, that's
For you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, just for
I
the
mean-
short
Yeah.
period.
Well, and speaking about Kanye and you said Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically these are rappers, and then that just brought to my attention this really important question that's really trending in Nigeria right now.
Let's speak about it, okay?
Yeah, so I mean, like, no, I don't want to speak too much about
Okay,
it.
all
But
right.
what I
I'll
just
ask
want,
about it.
Yeah,
what I
let's
just
talk about
want to, yeah, no, what I just want to, I want to hear your take on is, what do you think about rap in the Nigerian music industry? Like, what would you say? Do you think it's something that really needs a lot of investment from other artists, like a lot of artists, maybe other producers, and basically that needs to be, just tell me what you feel about rap in the Nigerian music industry.
Okay. So basically, my own take, because I've like pondered on it before even this whole situation came up, and I just think to myself that you have people like YC that come out with songs like Jagaban, that and it's like and then when it goes on further and it's like you drift off. I can name so many names that will give you a rap song and then it's like it just goes up. I say that just goes to, first of all, people not really knowing what they stand for, who they are, or who they want to present themselves to be. That's why some artists in America, for example, some rappers, hip hop heads, if you play them Afrobeats in the studio, they will tell the producer like to get out and never ever. On a real note, because they know that.
They know quality, they recognize quality.
And it's just the thing of that, it's not their own.
Yeah, it's not their style.
Yeah, like playing, like I'm a producer, I'm playing Afrobeats for 21 Savage. It's like what he raps about and everything that he's about is like so off it. So if you're coming in with rap and you're coming in with rap music and it gives this type of persona where you're like, okay, yeah, this guy or whatever. It's cool if you can flow on. The best thing for Nigerian rappers to be able to do is to be like Ajebo Hustlers. Be like Ladipo. You understand?
Okay, so you think so how I would interpret that, I don't know if I'm getting you, is if rap can straddle that line of rap and pop. Thank you, rap and pop, because you have to know the place you're in and the people what they want, and that's where sometimes they go in too much of pop and they are now classified the pop artists, and then you now still want people to look at you as a rapper,
and it's almost impossible. Like you already know, not to throw shade, but Olamide, for example, like I would say he's a rapper, but I mean he has given us a lot. There was a point in time where he was not really rapping much, and it was just like to feed the pockets, feed the streets, and but it's actually not easy in Nigeria. But I mean, it's not easy anywhere. You just have to be strategic and play.
So I think another question that we have as well is in terms of how you would describe your sound. Have you found your sound yet? Do you have a description for it? And if you have, how would you describe it? What would you tag your sound as?
Okay. Well, I've discovered my sound. I would say my sound is basically emotional music. That's what I was tagged as, emo music. Something that will give you a feeling. The song that I dropped at the beginning of this year was called Toxic.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Some info.
And Toxic, basically I wrote it about a fling that was in, that the girl basically got toxic at some point and started to like wanted to get physical and those kind of things where you like opening a whole book and chapter of like where you don't want to go. But someone is trying to bring that.
Get that. Okay.
And then it just really stuck with me because I knew that even my friends were like, oh, this is not good for you, this is not good for you. And then it took on to one girl that was interested in me that even I just saw her as a friend, and then she was kind of like, oh, this whole thing, like I don't know about you, but I know that
shed light on that.
Yeah, it's just like that girls are not meant to treat you like
this. Perspective.
Thank you. And then I was like, okay, yeah, she's right, and everybody else is right. And
okay, so your sound is so if we had to would you put Afro on it? Would you say Afro emo? Or emotional music, or it doesn't really have does it have a base in Afrobeats, or it's just standard emotional
well, you know that for example, now I'm a producer, beat maker. When I go on the thing and play this thing, I'm not playing anyone anyone genre. I'm just playing. And then from there it might be I'm not against any of the sounds. But with everything I do, it has to have some elements that you feel, and you never just be a song that has no like meaning, or there'll still be some sadness to it, or some element of like making you think and wonder.
Okay, I see where the Juice WRLD
yes, exactly. Those kind of things.
The Toxic, that was I really like that song. So I was like, alright, people open time. But I know you recently released a song, Change. I was gonna get to that, so we're here now. So please speak to us about like what inspired Change.
Oh my God, I'm not expecting this question.
I know a bunch of people would want to know. I mean, I have a tiny idea, but I want to actually understand.
I listened to the song as well, and I really like the sound of it. I think it communicates the emotional, I think, underlying aspect of it. But yes, as Obi said, I think it'd be good to know,
Well, basically, Change. I wrote the song Change. Everything has changed. Nothing will be the same. It was based on, the death of which who I was close to actually. They passed away 3 years old, and I spent time with his uncle. His uncle was my friend since university, so we used to spend a lot of time together, at his place and everything. And I got to form a personal bond with him just because, of course, I like kids and I'm around, and he was a cool kid, like no used to stress, no used to cry and everything. So when the passing happened, we had the friend's birthday in Aja, and we got the call that something happened to me, and then we had to rush down to Lekki, and then it was a cold sight. Like even now I'm still getting shivers, like seeing family and everybody like carrying the body of this baby that is lifeless now. So a lot of people didn't know that I was close to him or whatnot, and I didn't really take that. I don't have time to explain to anybody about this because I'm going through my own thing. I'm just trying to
I respect that actually.
That's how I expressed the pain and everything in the song Change.
Yeah, no, you did. They did communicate that, and I can't even imagine how devastating that must have been to just have a glimpse of that. But yeah.
Respect to that's the rest of it.
And shout out.
Honestly, like,
everything's going to be okay.
Okay, all right. So I think our, the next question would more be around, when you're in the studio, when you're producing music. And during the time you have been producing music, what would you say sort of has been the most interesting thing that's happened to you so far in that time, or the most out of pocket
like the most random thing
experience in studio experience that you've had? Yes.
Okay. Let me see. For funny experiences, I guess the funniest thing that I've had happen was when I was still like getting into music early on and everything, and then I and some of my friends went to the studio to record, No Mimic Studio in Iwaya, and then we were there and we recorded a song, and then all of a sudden there were other people in the studio, and then there was one guy that they called One Day Go in the studio.
Okay.
Physically looked like him, and then his voice too sounded like him.
Wow.
Then another one that they called Whiskey.
Oh, crazy.
And then those two people just happened to say that, let them jump on the song and add some this thing. As they jumped on the song, when I played for my family and friends, everyone was like, wait, you got Whiskey on this? And the effects and everything, literally, like I'm not kidding, like it literally sounded like actually food. So at that time they had this BlackBerry, you can do that, listening to. So now show your status that, and I'll put that Daryl is listening to Daryl X. So it was like, send me the record that is like, I'm not sending it.
You got him on your track.
All thanks to effects audio engineering.
Okay. Alright.
So I guess that was like some time back actually.
It's like 12 years ago.
Because I don't think to say that I remember you going to that studio in a while.
Back in the days.
Okay, well, so another thing that I would actually like to know, as much as we're very much interested in your music, we also want to know, do you have other interests in life, like maybe other career things you're chasing, like the other things you do on the side, basically?
Okay. Well, firstly, I would say that I'm a student of the world.
Okay.
Yes. I'm an initiate. For those that know, they will know. And that just means basically we're one with nature, and we try to study about the world and ways to basically help people and all of that. And it has a whole another book of like religion and spirituality and everything. But I try not to bring those things up. And aside that, I sell drinks.
Okay.
Please, you want to buy it on video? I'm so sorry. I know it's your show, but
why is it? Alright, no, I'm going to stand in your way. We do something. It makes sense for artists to have
we can't really
something
go
else
into
that
it.
they're going.
If you are an artist, right, I'll tell you that whatever you're doing, music is a passion. Music is something that you love to do, right? You love to do this thing. It's not everything that you love to do that's going to bring money for you. Some people end up being lucky that later on music hits off and they're making money from what they love. All fine and good, right? But sometimes you have to invest to get to that point. Okay, now you're choosing to invest. If you don't have any side thing you're doing, how are you going to invest? How are you going to pay producer? How are you going to pay videographer? How are you going to pay for radio station play?
And that your separate life doesn't have to be music related. It can be
No, it can be
as long as
anything.
it
I mean,
generates, okay.
just think
Alright.
about something
Okay.
that
This man's kind of from the future because like we're gonna get to
Smart
giving
guy.
advice
Okay,
to,
right,
to
okay,
people.
yeah.
you all are bringing
He's
it
way
out.
ahead of us, so like
Right,
yeah, that was
right,
good. So you know, I hope you have your pen and papers
Yeah.
down. Take
All right,
Taking
down, write
notes.
it down.
Especially
Okay.
for the newbies that want to, you know, get to know what to do,
Yes,
especially
yes.
for them getting started. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why we want, you know, we're speaking to artists like yourself.
Yeah.
We're doing it, you know, to motivate, you know, new artists that
course.
are coming to the scene.
Of course.
So another question that we also wanted to touch on was the question of, so you mentioned in terms of where you have to invest in your music.
Yeah.
What are the best ways that you would say for that a new artist can market, you know, independent market their track or what they've created?
All right. So you're a new artist, you come out, you have a good song, you're feeling it, your family is feeling it, everything. You're looking for the way to go to push it out there because obviously it's not for your family who I will call your supporters or your friends. They're all your supporters. Now you're trying to get fans and a fan base. Right now, the ways to do it, I would say that we all have TikTok on our phone, we all have Instagram Reels and all that. That already, the algorithm is very set up in a way that you can show up anybody. You just have to make it interesting.
Yeah.
I have to do like be crazy and some things, but I guess you know it works. That's one way. For some people that are more like reserved and don't like to be out there with content making and all that,
Yeah.
I'll suggest you go for playlisting.
Okay.
Yeah, so you submit the song to be playlisted on like Spotify. So they put like 12 playlists on Spotify, 10 playlists on Apple Music, and you know you see a lot of streams from that, a lot, because there are people that go to, for example, on Apple Music. Okay, you have Hotel Cruise playlist. Yeah, I was on Hotel Cruise playlist and some other playlists, but like my number just like skyrocketed and everything. And also my friends were telling me that this like that's the song that I dropped. They knew it from the playlist itself. So it plays a major role.
Okay. Do you have to? How much funding goes into that? Do you have to pay for that?
Yes, you have to pay for playlisting. You can also do it your own way, but I don't know about that one, Sha. But if you want to pay for playlisting, let's just say an average of $100 to $200. You know, that's about 60K to like 120.
Yeah, depending on when you're watching this, because you know how Nigeria
It changes a lot.
Where is the government?
Okay, yeah. So another thing I really wanted to know that kind of in line with what you just said. So I feel, you know, one thing artists, basically there's certain features, certain qualities that are just non-negotiable for artists that you feel like you must have these. And like, I'm sure you would have, you know, realized some along the line. So I don't know, maybe you can, you know, highlight some of them, some of these features that you feel like, some qualities that you feel like pretty much every artist has to have, has to possess.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'll say that, of course, you have to be presentable. That means that you take care of yourself, take care of your body, you know, make sure you cut your hair, everything, you know, just look presentable. And then going into music, you know, you have to just have stage presence. I'll say that's very, very important. Like an artist that has zero fan base, you can touch the mic today and then conquer the whole crowd, and for that point, you have gotten 1,000 fans, just like that. So that opportunity of that, because at the end you are singing to sing for people.
Yeah.
So if you get on the stage and then you cannot now perform and everything, so that plays a very, very big major role. Because a lot of people that don't go for people's shows anymore, don't like this artist anymore, is because I went for a show, he was just standing there, he was not really doing anything. You understand? Or is that the music was playing in the background and it was just like, but a good song like Kendrick Lamar's show. First of all, it's just the beats.
Right.
Everything is singing, he's singing live in that moment. Already has the mic connected here, and then there's still some choreography and dancing, and you know that you paid for something. And Burna Boy, shout out to Burna Boy too. He's really doing like performance, and I give it up to him. Like it's really interesting to watch. So
But before performances, so I feel like so as a new artist, obviously to build up the experience with performances, it might take a few performances before you get to that good place. But in the place where before you start actually putting up your first performance, what are the things that you could be, the qualities that you would need to have before you even get to your first performance? Say after your first track has been made, but you've not really booked any show in that time, what would you say like a new artist can like start working on in terms of qualities to have?
Okay. Well, I'll say that you just have to know how to talk to people, speak with people, because I've performed at some shows whereby, I'm my own manager at this point, me and God. So I'll have to like go to the DJ. They have told you that, oh, you're going to perform everything, you're going to perform everything.
Yeah.
Don't worry. And then you're there, and then I've seen like 10 other people perform, and you're like, oh, what's up?
Yes,
And like, and you're like, oh, don't worry. So you have to know when to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Very important.
Right.
Because a lot of maybe 3 shows that I had was because I actually just stood up and went to DJ myself and said that, oh,
Right.
I'm supposed to perform here. Yeah. And I took it, no, it's not an option. I'm going to perform. And then just from that resistance and everything, you just like,
Alright.
Alright.
Just give
Coming
him,
up next.
give him the
Thank you.
Deromagic.
So just exactly. Just know that you have to be confident and really put yourself out there and don't be timid or non-nuanced. You have to know how to talk to people and
True.
let them know what you want.
So you can't be a shy musician.
It'll be difficult because you're meeting people all the time. People are trying to talk to you, and if you say nothing or you're just they don't really know what's on your mind. They don't really know what you like, they don't know how they can relate with you. You understand? They say, oh, you like Chelsea team. Oh, I'm into a Chelsea fan. You understand? From there, but if you're just like timid or shy and just reserved, just like not really much to go off on.
I think that's really applicable to pretty much every aspect of life. You just have to be a go-getter.
Thank you.
Honestly, if you're shy, you won't really get anywhere. That's the truth. So you have to go for your goals, man. You get there. That's just even if it's obviously always going to be a process.
Yes,
but you
exactly.
get there step by step.
All right.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think we could come to our last question, which Obi mentioned before that. We're going to ask you, what advice would you give to new artists that are just coming into the scene? What if you could tell, or even if you look at it as yourself when you just entered, what advice would you give yourself?
Yes.
That's a very good question. Me talking to myself, Mr. Magic coming in, and all you little magics that are listening to this. Well, I'll say first things first, have a good group of a network of people. I'll not say a team, but it can be your brother, your sister, or anybody, but like people that listen to your music and can critique. And when I say critique, I mean like, real critiquing. It's not as if everybody just honest reviews, and it's not a P of that. Maybe someone's just looking for something to like. No, it's just that first off listening neutrally, and then they say that okay, you can work better and do that. So just have those, because even the biggest artists with the biggest labels, they still have their listening team that before they roll out, they call 20 people from random and say, okay, listen to this and all that. So it's important to have people that listen to your music and give you honest reviews. And then from the business side, I'll say watch YouTube videos, learn how to market your music, learn the right things to do when you're releasing, when you have a rollout plan. The rollout is not that. I mean, I've made this mistake before, so that's why I can speak like this. I'm not better than anybody or anything, but I can speak.
You've learned from experience.
Thank you from experience.
All right, man. This was actually really great. I'm glad that you acknowledged our invite and you're part of this. Thank you so much for all the words you put out there, especially for listeners. Even me myself, I learned a couple of things.
We did.
So I just any last words, like people that would try to reach out to you, all your social media platforms, your streaming platforms, you can just share a way that they can connect to you.
All right. Well, basically, you can find me on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything.
Worldwide.
Everything.
Wikipedia.
Oh,
Everywhere.
It's five dollars.
Alright, basically anything. I go by the name Deromagic, which is D-E-R-O Magic. D-E-R-O Magic. All together.
No more spelling.
One word.
M-A-G-I-C. All one word.
Exactly, all one word. Deromagic. Magic, no more spelling. That's all.
All right, great. I know. So,
Thank you, Dero. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, all my slimes out there, you already know what's going on. Slash, chicken, that. Free YSL, free Thugger, free Gunner.
Okay.
Box.
Free who else?
That's
okay.
Everyone else is free.
All right, guys. Until next time, y'all stay blessed. Peace.
Bye.